Good evening, everyone. Okay, ladies, please stay with this until the very end, I promise. It gets good. God was curious how Adam was doing with his new creation. So God thought he would come down and check on Adam. And so he got down there and Adam said, "Oh, thank you, you're here. Oh, thank you, you're here." Do I need music for this?
Turning it off.
This is...
That was good.
So God said, "Don't tell that joke." So Adam said, "Can we talk in private about Eve that you've just sent down to me?" And God said, "Sure, Adam, we can talk." And he said, "She is so beautiful." He says, "Every time I look at her, something happens inside. I can look at her all day. Why, Lord, did you make her so pleasant to look at?" And he said, "That's easy, Adam. I wanted you to like her." And he said, "Her skin is so soft. It smells just so wonderful. I could touch and smell and hug her all day long. Something happens inside of me. Why did you make her so pleasant to be so close to me?" He says, "That's easy, Adam. I wanted you to like her." He says, "Well, I got to ask one other question." He says, "Man, is she dumb." You're dumb. "Why, Lord, did you make her so dumb?" He says, "That's easy, Adam. I wanted her to like you." So, thank you for sticking with it. That's in the Bible, by the way. You can find that in Genesis if you're looking. Did you, I heard it. I don't know if it's true, but I believe it to be true. It's back on the bestsellers list, the Bible. People are buying the Bible. Is that true, Elliot? You're shaking your head like you know.
I heard the same.
Yeah, like it's back in vogue. Anybody here have a Bible? Anybody have a Bible? I just bought one 2 years ago. My wife gave me one. It sits with all my stuff because I read a lot of Emmett Fox. Anybody here read Emmett Fox much? Anybody know the relationship with Emmett Fox with Alcoholics Anonymous? Anybody know? It's what they were reading. They were reading, I believe they were reading Around the Year with Emmett Fox. That's a daily meditation. I'm going to bring one of those in. When we talk step 11, we're going to talk about some meditation books that are not AA conference approved. How about that? When you hear only AA conference approved, doesn't that make it sound like non-conference approved isn't any good? But that's not true. Even Wilson says to go to religious people and be quick to see where they're right. So even though it's not conference approved, doesn't mean that it's not going to help my spirituality. It might draw me closer into sobriety. It could be of use to me. So I read Emmett Fox. I read Oswald Chambers in the morning. Anybody read Oswald Chambers? Lou, you're not reading Oswald Chambers? Okay. Yeah? All right, wonderful. Emmett Fox is what Bill and Bob were reading. They're also reading the Bible. But they didn't have a big book. They didn't have daily reflections. They didn't have 24 hours a day. So they had to read something, so they were reading a lot of Emmett Fox, and Emmett Fox was with not with the Oxford group, I don't know what the term is, but the Oxford group was Emmett Fox guys, and the Sermon on the Mount, anybody read that one? That's a beautiful meditation. Emmett Fox, so we'll get there. But anyway, just everybody got a set-aside prayer somewhere? We'll take a quick moment of silence, try to leave our days, what happened, and our anxieties, worries, excitements. Take a quiet moment, and then we'll lead off with the serenity prayer.
Serenity or set aside?
Set aside prayer. Prayer?
God, please set aside everything I think I know about you, everything I think I know about myself, everything I think I know about others, and everything I think I know about my own recovery. For a new experience with myself, a new experience with others, a new experience with my own recovery, and especially a new experience with you.
Amen. All right. What page are we on, Pat?
64.
64. Go to 64, and it says, "Therefore we started upon." So if you've been with us so far, we spent a whole lot of time on steps 1 and 2. I think 7 weeks. And then 8th week, we read the 3rd step. Did the 3rd step prayer as a group. Anybody doing the 3rd step prayer in the mornings and the evenings? Anybody pick it up? Beautiful. A surrender, a covenant. We talked about it being a covenant, not a contract. Unbreakable covenant I make every day with my Creator, my understanding of God, my conception of God. Very good. And then we had some homework assignment. Anybody remember the assignment?
Yeah.
Okay. This was the assignment. Anybody, okay, who in here? So if we're gonna get to it, so if there's a couple of people, not too deep, we'd like a little lighter resentments, okay? We don't wanna do the man who killed your children, and we're not gonna do that tonight, but you get it? Yeah, no well, we can do ex-husbands, that'd be fun. Are you still resentful at him?
Not today, but I had to use something.
Wonderful.
I have a resentment.
Okay, we're gonna get to it. Okay, so now we're gonna read. I'm glad you can't wait. Yeah.
It's all self-directed.
All right, I'm also gonna pass around, before I forget, and silence your cell phones if you get a chance. Hi, Jonathan. We're gonna ask for a donation, free will offering for, pay for our expenses, and we split with the church. How are we doing, Mike, with the church? Is the church happy with us?
Very happy with us.
All right, we're a good tenant, huh? Good, thank you, guys. We're very happy to be here. This is our first year here. I don't know about you guys, but I like this room. I like doing it here. Yeah, maybe someday we'll be back over at the 24-hour club, but this is nice. You agree, Peggy? You okay? Okay. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, maybe go to church here. Okay, are you ready now? We're on page 64, and we're on therefore we started upon. Okay, did you catch last week we read, you are now at step 3? He never tells us we're at step 1 or step 2. These are observations. Step 3, I get my first action. My first action is making a decision. I haven't done anything, I'm just gonna make a decision. If on step 3, if I've turned my life over to God and I got the new relationship, we'd have a 3-step program. So the next 9 steps are how I'm gonna create this or get this conscious contact with my Creator. Be relieved of my obsession to drink. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Bad alcoholic. Therefore, we started upon a personal inventory. This was step 4. A business which takes no regular inventory usually goes broke. Taking a commercial inventory is a fact-finding and a fact-facing process.
Do you remember when we put guilt up on the board? And we talked about, is guilt a feeling? Did anybody give deep thought to that? Is guilt a feeling? No, what is it? It's a fact. We're going to do some fact finding. What is causing my guilt? My guilt is what is separating me from my Creator. If you'd rather think about it as a judge, my Creator, I cannot access my Creator if I have guilt or unreconciled guilt. So we're going to find out what that guilt is. What's causing it?
It is an effort to discover the truth about the stock in trade.
Or the stock in my thinking. Take out trade. He's given us a metaphor here. And I don't have anything on the warehouse, but I got a lot of things up here in this warehouse. And I have a lot of thoughts.
One object is to disclose damaged or unsaleable goods, to get rid of them promptly and without regret. If the owner of the business is to be successful, he cannot fool himself about values.
And if you're going to be successful in sobriety, you can't fool yourself about thoughts and emotions.
We did exactly the same thing with our lives. We took stock honestly. First, we searched out the flaws in our makeup which caused our failure, being convinced that self manifested in various ways. What was what had defeated us. We considered it common manifestation.
So that's about the 5th time we've come across the word manifestation. Manifestation is the result of something as from something else. What is it that manifests from me? Oftentimes you hear, and it's correct, resentment is the number 1 offender. But he's going to tell us resentment is the number 1 manifestation of self. So my resentments are selfish. The number 1 reason why people go out and drink is they're selfish. They're selfish and self-centered and will not surrender to their Creator. There's some things that they're unwilling to do. It's an illness of ill will. And that's what we're going to start getting into, is find out what is it that Paul is unwilling to do, that he still is restless, irritable, and discontent, and a drink is fixing. So I have an illness of ill will. My resentment is manifested from that, from my selfish self-centeredness.
Resentment is the number 1 offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. From it stem all forms of spiritual disease.
That's the first time and the last time we're going to see the word disease in this book.
For we have been not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick.
Here comes a solution.
When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically.
Okay, so I'm working with a guy down on Marco Island. He's got deep problems. He's hooked on drugs. This is a true story. Cannot stop. In and out, in and out, in and out. Asked me to sponsor him. I said, fine, no problem. What length are you willing to go to? He's on all kinds of meds. I want you to go to the doctor, talked about the meds, and they're meds like antidepressants, gabapentin, Seroquel, trazodone. He just got the whole list. I said, never told him once to get off the meds. I said, I would like you to go to the doctor, tell him you're going to go through a 12-step program with a sponsor, as it's laid out in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I want you to go to that psychiatrist, that psychologist, put you on the prescription, and ask him if you can get off some of these meds or all these meds. He goes to the doctor, he comes back, we meet again. I said, what did the doctor say? He said, you know what, I didn't ask him. We were working on some other things. I said, okay, so see how I'm catching ill will. I said, he was raised Catholic, right? So I hate the Catholic faith. This is what happened to me. I said, I would like you to go to Mass with me on this day. What are you doing on Sunday? Nothing. Well, I'd like you to go to Mass. He goes, no, I'm never going back into that effing, okay? Now they're ill will. Didn't ask him why. Just said, will you go with me? I got a call from him today. He said, I sent him a text to see how he was doing. And he sent me a text back. I could read it. It says, I have stage 4 cancer. And I said, oh, can I call you? You know, how about that text chain? How'd you like, stage 4, what kind of cancer do you have? Oh, I have. Can you imagine doing that text? That's what I wanted to do. I said, can I call you? He said, yeah. He said, when? I said, no. So I called him. And I said, what happened? Now listen to this. He said, 3 weeks ago, I went to the doctor. He said, I have stage 4 liver cancer. And it's not manifested, metastasized, help me out, into my kidneys. I said, my God, what'd you do? He said, what do you mean? No, he couldn't meet with me many times because he had to work. He couldn't meet with me many times because he had something, the thing of the thing. I said, my God, what did you do? He said, what do you mean, what did I do? As soon as they told me that, I went up to Chicago, where my mother and father are, and they're hooked into a doctor, and we got with the lead surgeon, the head of the cancer, they hooked me up with that, who hooked me up with a guy, who hooked me up with a guy, and I got a team. I said, my God, what does it mean? He says, what do you mean? That next day I was on chemotherapy. It's like, you catch the irony? Yeah. Man, I wish he would have treated his alcoholism the same way, because all of a sudden he heard stage 4 diagnosis. If you are a real alcoholic, you're probably stage 4, and you're probably at the end. But you know what? I didn't go into that Catholic church. You know what they did to me. Huh? I won't let this stuff go. You follow? And I know that when I talked to him, I know he'd been probably drinking, or, because can you imagine trying to go through that sober? Without a program, without going through these steps. I don't know. He probably will go through it sober, because I bet a doctor said, hey, don't drink or drug. So I bet those all go away. And then we got a friend who went through terrible cancer, and he got all healed, and he drank again. And he did not drink during his cancer, during the surgeries, during everything, and they got a clean bill of health, and he drank. Yeah, isn't that something? It's really, how do we, if there was an x-ray, wouldn't that be cool? If I could send you into the MRI, and it came back out, you're stage 4 alcoholic. You need to do the 12 steps. You need to live in them, you know, or you're gonna die. I give you 90 days if you don't do these. Huh? Would you say, well, I don't know if I really need a home group, or, you know, do I have to meet every week? Do I have to read with you every week? I'm sorry, I got off on that. Okay.
In dealing with resentments, we set them on paper. We listed people, institutions, or principles with whom we were angry. We asked ourselves why we were angry. Why we're angry. In most cases, it was found that our self-esteem, our pocketbooks, our ambitions, our personal relationships, including sex, were hurt or threatened. So we were sore. We were burned up. On our grudge list, we set opposite each name our injuries. Was it our self-esteem, our security, our ambitions, our personal or sex relations, which had been interfered with?
So that's was our assignment. We wrote resentment on the top of a sheet. We took up the full page. I asked you to leave this part blank. We put who, and then we put why, and he just said that we were burned up, so I put the behavior of them, that causes me to be burned up and then affects my self, sex relations, personal relations, pocketbook, ambition. Okay? Now Bill's gonna give us his example.
We were usually as definite as this example. I am resentful at Mr. Brown. The cause, his attention to my wife. The affects my sex relations, self-esteem, fear. Mr. Brown told my wife of my mistress. Affects my sex relations, self-esteem, fear. Mr. Brown, I am resentful at Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown may get my job at the office. Security, self-esteem, fear. I'm resentful at Mrs. Jones. She's a nut. She snubbed me. She committed her husband for drinking. He's my friend. She's a gossip. Affects my personal relationship, self-esteem, fear. I'm resentful at my employer. The cause, unreasonable, unjust, overbearing, threatens to fire me for drinking and padding my expense account. Affects my self-esteem, fear, security. I'm resentful at my wife. The cause, misunderstands and nags. Likes Brown, wants house put in her name. Affects my pride, personal sex relations, security, fear.
Okay, so who had the resentment? Anybody want- Okay. Who had the-
Actually, this is because I'm really still a sick bastard. The first one I have is myself.
Okay, move on. Don't put yourself on any list. Yeah, Dave.
I got a resentment
Okay,
against,
hang on, give us the next one. I'll get back to why we don't put self on the list, okay? Self doesn't go on, yeah, I was taught self doesn't go on my 8-step list, not on my 4-step list.
Mother.
Who?
My mother.
Mother. They usually lead. Does mom have a name?
Yeah, Sue.
Sue, mom. Sue. The reason why I ask my guys if they have names, it makes it personal, doesn't it? My mom's name is Mary. Okay, why are you mad at mom?
She was a manipulative.
Okay, this is a spelling. Now that spelling gets really interesting.
It's called
All right,
an
all right. She was manipulative. Okay, anybody want to help with that? Manipulative. Okay, she's manipulative.
Manny.
Huh?
Manny.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What's the next? Why else?
Took advantage of her entire family.
Okay,
Very personal.
she's manipulative. Okay, that still sounds manipulative. Takes advantage of people.
That's really it.
Okay, that's it. Okay, does it affect your sex relations?
No.
I don't know why we led with sex relations. Personal relations.
Yes.
Is this from a little boy?
Yes.
Okay, and you watch her manipulate?
I'm sorry.
You watched her manipulate?
Yes.
And take advantage of
And
people?
was manipulated.
Did you learn from her?
Yes.
Did you ever manipulate in your sex relations?
Absolutely.
Yeah, guess what it affects?
Sex.
Sex relations. Yeah.
Great.
All right? Yeah, great. Bad news. Really? Take advantage of people? You ever take advantage of people in your sex relations? Okay. And how about personal relations? We said yes.
Yes.
Pocketbook?
Yes.
Yep. You ever rely on a job application to get the job? Yeah. And then anything else, right? Ambitions.
Ambitious.
What's an ambition? An ambition is my desires. My desires to participate. You know, my ambition to join the team, to get the job, to meet a girl, to have a family, to help me out. Any other ambitions? Okay, good. Thank you. Dave, you had a...
yeah, my first resentment was my Big Book Step Study sponsor.
Okay, awesome. What did we just say? I'm always disappointed when we're doing, and I'm not on there.
My sponsor.
My
was-
sponsor, jerk.
He ripped up my work. He said I wasn't following directions.
All right, criticized you.
Yeah.
Criticized. All right, crit.
He had me write a whole bunch of stuff and then
It's a big word, Jeff, criticized.
he ripped it up right in front
Ripped
of me.
it up, yeah, yeah.
That affected me.
Ripped it up.
He said write it over.
All right, ripped it up. Did it affect your sex relations?
No.
Yeah, we gotta get this one to the back. Personal relations?
Yes.
With him?
Yeah, I didn't want to be my sponsor.
How many
after
days?
he ripped it up.
How many days were you sober?
Oh, I was already 6 years old.
You're 6 years sober when you did the work.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too fast.
No.
No, never rush it.
I was too comfortable.
Yeah, too comfortable. I wasn't drinking, for God's sakes.
But I'm
All right.
like, why do I need this if he's going to be doing this to me?
Yeah, jerk.
Then
Alright.
I got so mad, I said I'm gonna do it in spite of him.
Yeah,
So I was
I'll
done
show
to
you,
think
you
I was writing
bastard.
in spite of him.
I'll teach you how to do an
Yeah.
inventory.
So I got ambitious because I wanted to, my ambition at first was maybe I should quit this, maybe I'm doing this
Yeah.
wrong. Then I got the resentment for really hard, and then I said I'm gonna do it in spite of him.
In spite of them.
Yeah.
Did you have a book at the time?
Oh, yeah.
He was your big book step study
Yeah,
sponsor.
when I was-
Those jerks.
Yeah,
Yeah, they read the book all the time. A pocketbook?
yeah, I know, because.
How about
you know,
ambition?
I met him and I had to pay him, we were
Yeah.
making coffee
Met
an
him, I
hour
had to
before
pay
the
him.
meeting.
Ambition, though.
Yeah.
You just described perfect,
Right.
Yeah.
And then the next week he did it again. He
Picked
said,
it up
"You're
again."
You're still not following directions.
I know.
Then he said, I'm gonna cut you off if you can't
know.
write it the right way. I had the wrong columns.
And then when my sponsor took me through the steps, went out and used again. So then I got another sponsor down here, this beautiful man. A lot of you guys know him, I'm not gonna give him the credit with the name. Anyway, the first time he had me do an inventory, I brought it to him and he goes, "What is that?" I go, "That's my inventory."
Yeah, I didn't wanna go
That's
down, I
not
went
an
across.
inventory,
He said,
yeah.
"You
Well, I don't
can't
know
go
what,
across."
it was on an envelope. I'd given it 9 minutes, a marriage of 28 years, I'll give it 9 minutes of effort. Okay,
Ex-husband?
what's his name?
Tom.
Tom, we don't put ex-husband, we got, all right,
Yeah.
what did this jerk do?
So I didn't like the way he treats our adult children and our grandchildren
Today?
today.
Oh, there we go, I thought you said this was, okay,
Well, I'm not really, he's sick.
yeah,
So
he's sick, that's good.
he lies
Okay, it treats, adult children,
poorly and our grandchildren. He hasn't seen them in over a year.
All
He's
right.
too busy,
this is a good one,
yeah.
adult children, sorry for my, so treats adult children bad. He's a liar,
Liar.
all right, lies, and what was the other one?
Blames his life is crap because of all of us.
Oh, blames,
We were voting.
all right, blames you, all
Yeah.
right,
Justified anger.
yeah, all right, so there's more to come, but
Oh, there's so much.
I know, we can't do it all in one night. All right, now do you get the feeling like we're the judges here?
Yeah.
Because you are the judge. Treat it like that. No, don't treat it like, I'm sorry, not the judge. Prosecutor. Treat your sponsor or whoever you're going to share your fist up with, they're the judge. So I'm going to tell you exactly why Tom is a piece of dog, you know what. And I got you would be, if Tom, you were married to Tom,
Well, he was married to me.
I know.
He tells me. That's why he's the way he is.
oh, it's your fault. Yeah, okay. Okay. So many things I put her. All right, does it affect your, I know, I'm being careful here. Sex relations?
Not today.
You're kidding.
No.
Okay, hang on. Okay, well, not with him. No, thank you. But what about your future relations? And by the sex relations, you can
Or
think about just,
relationship, yes.
yeah, of course it does. Yeah, because all of a sudden now, you and I are dating, and all of a sudden you see a little something with Tom in me, and you go, out, man, that dude's out. And you'd be missing one great guy.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch, yeah.
Ouch.
Boy, you say, boy, I let that ship sail. Ship of humility just left.
Couch curve.
Personal relations?
Yes. My
How about
family-
your relations with your kids?
Well, with my kids, I stick up for them, so they love me.
Okay.
But it's affected my relationships with my family and his family.
His
When there's
family.
a fight,
How long have you been divorced?
17, 8, no, gosh, I'm gonna be 20 years.
Yeah. This is pretty, yeah, pretty fresh. Peggy, get your own show.
She's heard it all.
Yeah. Your pocketbook?
Yes,
Yeah. We know what we call this? Areas of self-affected.
yes,
These are the areas of self-affected. How about your ambition?
yes.
Of course. Anybody else want to put one up here? Those were pretty good. Joey,
My stepdad, Angel.
Angel, Angel, stepdad. Okay.
Abusive.
How old were you when Angel comes in your life?
Like 3, 4.
Okay. So that's a child, real young when he started abusing?
Yeah.
Okay. Abused me? Yep. Anything else?
Took advantage of my mom.
It takes advantage, okay, treated my mom. My mom poorly, how's that? We know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And bad role model.
my mom, okay. That's a good one. We want to get that one on. I like that. Bad role model. Okay, poorly and a bad role model. You're gonna have to remind me because I won't be able to read my own handwriting. Model. Shut up, Jim. Sex relations affected?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you saw the way your mom was treated. And get a little scared, don't you, of how a man can treat a woman. It gets pretty ugly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Personal relations?
Yeah.
Okay. Pocketbook? Your capacity to earn money, would you say?
I would say, yeah.
Okay. And ambition.
Yeah, for sure.
You notice I don't have, a lot of people are wondering, I bet, why we don't have fear or security up here. Because we haven't seen the word yet. That's all. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 really good ones. Okay?
What do you mean we haven't seen the word yet?
We haven't seen the word fear or security. We saw it in Bill's inventory.
No, it's in the big book too.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's going to come.
No,
so-
it's already been said.
It says,
There's three that I see that we haven't mentioned yet.
Yep.
Self-esteem,
yep. Okay, so here's,
pride, and security.
yep. And so here's where we're at. We asked ourselves why we were angry. In most cases, it found that our self-esteem, and we have self-esteem up there? Thank you.
But you asked me if it affected mine, I said yes.
I did. Yeah, okay, maybe that's why I got the SR wrong. Self-esteem, our pocketbooks, ambitions, personal relationships, and that's it. And then on the guards list, we set aside, was it our self-esteem, security, ambitions, personal, or sex relations would have been burned up? So I got them all now. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, when you guys put self-esteem next to each one of these, is there anyone that you wouldn't put self-esteem next to? Mom, Sue, right? Did she affect your self-esteem? Of course. Sponsor, when you ripped it up, that affect your self-esteem? Yeah. Just 6 years sober. Look at, we can add one on this guy.
I got all kind of good things to say.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Go ahead.
We went back through our lives. Nothing counted but thoroughness and honesty.
Okay, notice it doesn't say length. You ever see these guys walk around with a whole notepad with resentments? You can do that if you want. For my guys, when I'm working with a guy, I do what was told to me. Give it about 2 hours. And do this portion here. Pray before, find an area, and I recommend this to anybody I work with. Find a 2-hour window where your phone's not going to ring. Nobody's going to interrupt you. Pray before you're on your knees. Ask God to guide your pencil. And do the list just like this and see what comes out. And I was done at the end of 2 hours. I was pretty much done with a beginning. We're going to go deeper, but I gave it 2 hours, not 2 days, not 2 weeks, not 2 months. How long did you spend on that list that he ripped up?
Probably 2 weeks, but it was 2 hours at a time. I was in a van. We were traveling from Central Mass to the top of Lake Winnipesaukee. So I was able to sit in the back, and I was getting paid to drive up, ride
Okay,
up there.
yeah, so you had-
and I just took
wonderful.
it, I just rode,
That sounds like a
no
nice way.
phone, no nothing.
Yeah, that'd be a nice way to do
And I
it.
got into, I got to get find 100 forms.
Okay. How about this? A lot of opinions here. Do you go down or do you go across? Anybody have an opinion on that? You've heard people say, I just go down on the names first,
Yes,
and then I come back up. Anybody have an opinion?
I was taught down.
Top down?
Mine was ripped up because I went across.
Yeah, yeah.
had
I
to
was
go
taught.
down.
I was taught to go down,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Then I got to kind of read. So I've heard another guy speaker the other day said, well, then I got to go back up and relive it. So it's kind of fresh. So he just did these two down, and then came back and affects mine. So I don't. Nowhere in the book does it say which way to do it. So I like down. I like the idea of down these two here, and then go by and then reflect on how these are. If you notice, they're all coming up. And this is the thoroughness. Theo.
Have you had to do with this gentleman's in front and reject someone's 4-step because they didn't follow this pattern?
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them. It's bizarre what people come with. It's like, have we been sitting together or
It's
not?
hard to make it short, isn't it?
Okay, so here, this is like, some guys come with a novel for each one.
Right.
So like if you notice, mom manipulates. I don't need to, because you don't need to write the story down, because when we do your 5th step, you're going to tell me some of the things specifically, what she did. Joey's abuse. Some guys want to go, here's what he did, and give specifics. Some guys don't want to talk specific. I don't care. This is the area we really want to get to. But most guys want to talk specifically. This is exactly what happened to me, because that's also, by the way, going to be very key. If I can get a guy to start talking specifics we're gonna get into something here that's, pretty wild.
Yeah, I was told 7 words or less.
7 words or less, I've heard that.
was told 10.
10, in this section.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk. Yeah, and then also speeds up, and like, I had a resentment with my mom. This right here, I knew exactly what, I didn't even have to write it here, but I put it down to make sure I talk about it. I could, you know, I was shocked, I was like, oh, I'm really not mad at anyone. And at the end of 2 hours, man, I had written for 2 hours, and I looked at the list, I go, that's pretty good. That was pretty good.
Well, I was told to do it in pen. I did it in pencil. I had to do it all over.
Okay, you ripped it up. Do you guys have the same sponsor?
My sponsor was Fred.
Why pen? Why pen?
Because then you don't erase it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the ones when I'm hearing, they'll read everything and all of a sudden they get to the back of the book and they got 2 little names, like,
Yeah.
what's that one? You know, oh, I don't think I need to talk about these 2 guys. It's like, really? Well, who are they? And then pretty soon, Steve-O,
Hey, what about people that have their sponsees writing for a year or 2, trying to?
Don't
draw
get it.
out
Yeah,
To
I
the
look
end.
at it.
don't get it. I don't know, because, you know, we're leading into something. Most sponsors that will have you write for a year or 2 have never done a step. That's why. Most sponsors who say, let's wait 90 days before we start doing the work, they don't know what to do with it. You know what they're probably subconsciously hoping? You'll either get a different sponsor or you'll drink again. Right? And they can say, well, I worked with Paul, you know, there he is, out drinking again. I told him exactly what to do. Wait 90 days. It's like my friend who's got the cancer. Yeah, what if his doctor said, we're going to wait a year
Yeah.
and just see how bad it is? You know what he's going to do? What's he going to do?
Find
No,
another doctor.
get another doctor. So if your sponsor is doing 1 step a month with you, which I've heard, maybe get a different doctor. Yeah, because you might die. Yeah, you might die. You know, if you're stage 4 like I was. Okay.
When we were finished, we considered it carefully. The first thing apparent was that this world and its people were often quite wrong. To conclude that others were wrong was as far as most of us ever got.
So most of the guys that took me through, the hard drinkers, I wasn't sponsored by a real alcoholic until about 33 years, and I had 12 days before a real alcoholic got a hold of me or recovered. This is about as far as we got. When I was in Hazelden treatment centers, this is as far as we got. I'm looking at them, and you know what the conclusion is? I'm getting rid of mom in my life, right? I want this to go away. I'm done with Angel, right? That stepdad, that son of a bitch, I'll never see him again. Good, thank God that resentment is gone. Is the resentment gone? No, it's not gone when Angel leaves. Is he alive?
Yeah, he's allowed.
Okay.
The usual outcome was that people continued to wrong us and we stayed sore. Sometimes it was remorse, and then we were sore at ourselves. But the more we fought and tried to have our own way, the worse matters got. As in war, the victor only seemed to win. Our moments of triumph were short-lived.
Delusional thinking. I have delusional. Angel's gone. He's out of my life. Thank God that's over. And all of a sudden one day you're driving and you're reliving being 4 years old. God, the way he treated my mom. Can you? And pretty soon, guess what happened? Boy, I'll never treat my kids that way. And all of a sudden, you're texting the dealer. Yeah. Just like, and it's not like that. It's this subtle stuff, you know? Subtle stuff. What it is it's your selfishness manifesting in a resentment.
It is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to fertility and unhappiness. To the precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile. But with the alcoholic, whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely grave. We found that it is fatal.
Pretty strong words. Stage 4. My resentment has to be at stage 4.
For when harboring such feelings, we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the Spirit.
Or step 2.
The insanity of alcohol returns and we drink again. And with us, to drink is to die.
And when I hold a resentment, I have no inspiration. Emmett Fox is so beautiful. He says that we only have 2 emotions, fear and love. He says fear is always destructive, love is always creative. if I am in a resentment, it's based primarily about my fear and my dishonesty. Really, it's my dishonesty, driven to fear, and I will destroy my next relationship. Because Tom is living in me, I will blow, and I bet you've done it.
I have.
Yeah, and you can see it
I'm
and go,
single 10 years.
yeah, okay. All right, here it comes.
If we were to live, we had to be free of anger. The grouch and the brainstorm were not for us.
You know what the word brainstorm meant in 1939? Rage. It's not like brainstorm like today you're in the office and we're brainstorming ideas, how to remake our widget and sell more. Brainstorm was rage. Anybody here rageaholics? Yeah, when I was unrecovered dry, I was a rageaholic.
They may be the dubious luxury of normal men, but for alcoholics, these things are poison. We turn back to the list, for it held the key to the future. We were prepared to look at it from an entirely different angle.
Okay.
We began to see that the world and its people really dominated us. In that state, the wrongdoing of others, fancied or real, had power to actually kill.
Circle that word, fancied. In other words, I've held these resentments for so long that I've done less. Like I used to tell the story about my father picked me up by my belt and by my collar and opened the door with me. I was about 12 years old, and opened the door and threw me inside. That's how he opened the door with me one time. And I sat on therapist couches and treatment centers talking about this incident. And I was bleeding, and my mom saw me. It did happen. I forget to tell you what I did. He asked me to shovel the driveway, and I called him a mother. Okay? Yeah, and I knew he was a rageful man. I knew he had rage. I didn't want to shovel. You know what was better than shoveling the driveway? Sitting at home, sitting in the basement crying about how he just, and I had some few choice words for him. Well knew that I wasn't going to be shoveling and I was going to have some pain. But you know what? My mom was in there, and the therapist would say, no 12-year-old boy should ever be treated that way. It's like, yeah, but they never said, what did you do, Paul? And what I did was atrocious. All he wanted me to do was help shovel the driveway, and that's the kind of kid I was. I was fancied or real. I mean, you'll hear when you start sponsoring people and you start hearing fist steps, you will, as you get good at it, you'll say, do you think that really happened? Did that really happen? I mean, we'll do some of that tonight. All right, don't be afraid we get mileage out of being a victim. I got so much mileage out of that story. My poor dad. No, I got to make amends to my dad. When it comes to reality, I don't know if I was bleeding. I don't know if he opened the door. I know that I went through the door. Maybe the door was already open. I don't know. Right? But the more I need the story to prove to you why I was an abused child. I was not abused. Frankly, I needed more pats on the back, just a lot lower and a lot harder.
What was the temperature outside?
It wasn't that cold. No, we were shoveling. No, yeah, it was in the 30s. I didn't want to. I had Pong to play. I had a great game of Pong. That's before your time, Paul. All right.
How could we escape? We saw that these resentments must be mastered, but how? We could not wish them away any more than alcohol. This was our course. We realized that the people who wronged us were perhaps spiritually sick. Though we did not like their symptoms and the way they disturbed us, they, like ourselves, were sick too. We asked God to help us show them the same tolerance, pity, and patience that we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. When a person offended, we said to ourselves, this is a sick man.
This is called the angry man's prayer.
How can I be helpful to him? God, save me from being angry. Thy will be done.
Stop there. So that's what this space is for. Write this prayer down. How can I? And it's God save me from being angry. Right? Yeah.
to have an astronaut marker, it's almost right upside down.
I don't know. But I was gonna smell it. That's the addict in me.
Oh, God, no.
Come here.
Oh, I'm sorry, you stepped on our lead. Give her resentment?
All right, let's do Tom. Let's do Tom. Let's
I've done
pray.
them so many times,
No.
I'm tired.
I don't think they heard that thing.
Okay.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Okay. It's nice and loud.
You want me to read this?
God, Tom is a sick man. How can I
Okay,
be
God,
helpful to him?
Tom is a sick man. How can I be helpful to Tom? God, save me from being angry. Thy will be done.
Who are you praying for?
Myself.
Amen. Everybody agree? She praying for Tom?
Praying for Tom.
But
Theo?
both.
Yeah, I was told this was the sick man's
Me
prayer,
too.
so
Yeah.
It's interesting that you're saying it's the angry
Either
man's
way,
prayer.
sick man, angry man. Who's the angry man? Yeah, who's the sick man?
Them.
Either way, angry,
Yeah.
sick, they're both the same, aren't
Both.
they? Yeah, an angry man is a sick man. Beautiful, okay. How about Sue? You wanna pray for Sue?
Sure.
No, who do you wanna pray for?
Me,
There, say it out loud.
I wanna pray for Joe.
Yeah, so what do you do?
Pray for Sue.
Pray for Joe. Holler it out, God?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Sue is a sick woman.
How can I be helpful?
To Sue.
Oh,
And God save me from being angry.
How can I be helpful to Sue? God save me from being angry.
Boom. So I was taught, when you do the prayer, then I put a check mark. And I'm gonna pray. If you wanna follow, there's a story in the big book, 552, I think, Freedom from Bondage. It tells you, it's a different prayer altogether, but it talks about praying in repetition for a person you resent to get the things you want for yourself. That's what that story is about. For 2 weeks is the recipe.
14 days.
Yeah, when I do that prayer, I get about 3 days and I'm done with my resentment, by the way. It takes a while. I've never made it to 14 days. In resentment, people have done horrible things, according to me. And I get about 3 or 4 days and it's done, it's gone. It's a magical thing. That's on page 552. But in this case, I'm the sick or the angry person and I'm praying. If I'm praying for Tom, guess who you are? You're this person. You're God. God, please make Tom a kinder person to my children. God, please make Tom show up different today at the Christmas event. You follow?
yes.
Please have him call my grandparents. Well, who are you to say that Tom isn't doing exactly what God wants him to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who am I to say that Angel isn't just the person God wanted him to be? Doesn't look like it. You can't believe this would be, but who am I? Have you tried this prayer, Joey, with Angel?
No.
You want to say it out loud?
Sure. God, Angel's a sick man. How can I be helpful to Angel? God save me from being angry. That will be done.
Amen. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage. And we're going to get to this right now. How can you be helpful? So, keep reading.
We avoid retaliation or argument. We wouldn't treat us sick people that way. If we do, we destroy our chance of being helpful. We cannot be helpful to all people, but at least God will show us how to take a kindly and tolerant view of each and every one. Referring to our list again, putting out of our minds the wrongs others had done.
So this is called the turnaround. So you see what I did? So now turn around your page. So you put out of mind Tom and Angel and Sue and whoever else we had on the list. Sponsor guy, Fred. All right, so now I don't have it on my mind, except for I'm gonna put Fred here, sponsor.
What do you have at the top?
Who? And then my, does it say, keep reading.
We resolutely looked for our own mistakes.
Our own mistakes, so my part or my mistakes.
Where had we been selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, and frightened?
So I put that here, so let's do Fred, okay?
Sure.
So what's your part in, what's your mistake with Fred?
I didn't follow directions.
All right, didn't follow directions. Didn't follow directions.
Or pay attention,
Yeah, pay attention. How
because
about,
he was giving me time.
yeah, he was giving you time. What was he charging you?
Nothing.
Yeah, easy to fire that guy. Really break their hearts when you fire us. It's like, I don't know how I'll ever survive, right? How about this one though? Did you have these? Expectation? When you did your list, did you go, man, he's gonna love this? I'm gonna be the sponsee of the year for Fred.
Yeah, I'm gonna do extra than what he
Yeah.
told me to do.
Yeah,
He's
that's a
gonna
problem.
love
Yeah,
this.
he's gonna love this. Yeah, did Fred have a lot of sponsees?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was his first.
Oh, you were his first. Were you his last? Yeah, expectations. Fair enough?
Yeah, well, I was coming out of a cognitive brain decline. So.
Yeah, I know. 6 years of no drugs.
Yeah.
Takes a while to detox.
Right.
All right, were you selfish?
Sure.
Yeah, you're the guy taking his time. Yeah, how did you react when he tore it up?
Anger.
Anger. Were you self-seeking?
I don't know. I was resentful. I was angry.
Yeah,
I thought it was unjustified what he did.
okay.
And then I was mad I had to rewrite the whole thing.
Were you scared? Frightened?
No.
How about this? Were you frightened that maybe AA doesn't work for you? Like, holy
Well,
shit.
after the second time you ripped it up.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, so
Like
so
maybe
fear.
Big Book doesn't work for me.
Yeah, maybe
Should
I'm
go
that
to
guy they
go
talk
to the
about.
easier, softer way where I just sit in the meeting and
Yeah,
sit
meeting.
in denial aisle.
Yeah, relapse row.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good row. I was in relapse row a long time. It's right by the door.
They told me denial isn't a river in Egypt either.
Yeah, it's not a river in Egypt. That's right. Okay. Anything else? You were dishonest though.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
was dishonest because I was taking his time.
Yeah, it was dishonest. Okay.
At least I didn't spread rumors.
Okay. How about All right, Angel. All right, Joey. You okay?
Yeah.
Angel. Okay. This is a really good one, and this is on a lot of men's inventory, and I bet it's on a lot of women. So there's a lot of, particularly with like sex abuse and that stuff. You didn't say that, but
Yeah.
anytime an adult is taken advantage, it's hard to see. I've worked with a lot of men. I was not sexually abused, but I've worked with a lot of men that have had sexual abuse at very, very young ages, and it's very important to get to this my part or my mistake. It's very important, and it's real tricky. Now I don't have any experience, so oftentimes it's good to recommend a therapist or a psychologist. We've got some deep stuff, and I'm in real big trouble when I started playing Dr. Paul. I didn't finish high school. Had a guy who did a lot of time in prison, and he got a couple of years sober, and he was talking about some stuff that I could not relate to. You know, and then he had resources, and I really encouraged him. They have a lot of resources for guys, for men, and so we started looking together. We found a woman, and 3 weeks was all it took. Man, and so I started saying, well, what was she doing? What was she saying? He started telling me, that's incredible. I never thought of it like that. He goes, oh, yeah. So it's really, you know, if I haven't had the experience myself, I'll bet I've got a sponsee that has it, or any number of things. I work with a lot of gay men. I'm not a gay man. In this inventory, some stuff comes out. But I refer to a lot of my other sponsees now. Like, hey, call so-and-so. I think he's been through what you follow what I'm trying to say? You know, if I don't have experience, I try not to give I have lots of opinions. So Angel, this is a good one. What's your mistake?
I picked on my little brother, picked on his son.
Okay. Think about,
I don't know.
I want you to get, yeah, I know. You're 4 years old. Anybody think he's got a part in it at 4 years old?
No.
Yeah, anybody think he deserves to, whatever the abuse was? No, of course not. Think about it today. This is a deep one. What are your mistakes today? Think about your using days too. It's been a while since you've had it. How many days you got, how many years you got sober?
17 months.
17 months, that's awesome. That's very cool. So think about 18 months ago, 19 months ago, when you're out actively using. If this resentment is, think about what is your part in it? What's your mistake in it? All right? How about this one? You judged him. Did you judge him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you judged him. He should have you said mistreated my mom, right? She's totally off the hook, right? You realize your mom picked him, right? We can put mom, usually mom comes right after the list of boyfriend that beat her, and then mom. Why? She dated a boyfriend that beat her. So we get down to something, all right? Judged him. How about this one? Who said that?
Unforgiving.
Thank you. Unforgiving or lack of forgiveness. Can you forgive him?
Probably.
Yeah, see, catch that 17 months sober. It's really important, Joey. If I'm Joey's sponsor, that we're going to get to some forgiveness here, because it's going to kill you. You know, if I can't, what's that prayer say? Forgive, our Father, forgive me as I forgive others. Guess who the others are? angel. You know, so you want to be forgiven and be relieved of my guilt, but yet I'm holding you to your guilt. And there's some real deep stuff behind that. So this is where you say, maybe you need to see a therapist. Maybe you need a psychologist that maybe has background in 12 steps or that has lots of addiction experience. And you'd be shocked at how they just show up, these experts, these professionals. I'm looking for the word.
God.
Thank you. How he shows up. How about that? The thing that I want to relate though.
In the person.
Yeah, so if I'm sponsoring though, I gotta watch, because all of a sudden the psychologist takes over and he's missing meetings now with me. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because all of a sudden the psychologist is so enthralled, and guess what, they always pick women's psychologists, and then pretty soon they're, now the psychologist on the sex inventory, right? It's like, oh my God. But all of a sudden you go out, I've seen a lot of guys, this personal experience. All of a sudden the psychologist becomes on my priority list. Remember our priority list we did? Now my therapy comes before it, my AA meetings, my AA sponsor, and all of a sudden I'm backwards, and the therapist, psychologist probably is not an addict, alcoholic. And you might not, now they got lots of opinions in education, which worked well for my one resentment. Well, I'm gonna go back to them all the time, and it gets, I'm trying to be careful here. They're fantastic, but be quick to see where they're right, but don't make them in your program. Yes, Steve-O?
That's when I like to bring up the prayer of St. Francis. For it is by self-forgetting that one finds. It is by forgiving that one is forgiven.
Yeah.
It is by dying to the ego that one awakens to eternal life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's on page 99 of the 12 and 12 if you're looking for.
5:15 a.m.
Yeah. Wonderful.
5:15 a.m.
Yeah.
Sundays.
What about the program, the ACA program, which I understand that it's more, you tell me, I mean, I've heard things, I'm just throwing them out there.
Do you know who Bob Smith's son was, Dr. Bob? Did you hear this?
No.
Smitty was what they called him. So Bill Wilson went to Smitty after Bob Smith died, and he said, Smitty, you must be awful proud to be the first member of ACA. And he said, why would I want to be identified by my father's drinking? Yeah, think about it. Go to an ACA meeting. That's like going to a rape survivors meeting or a rape. You know, I'm a rape survivor. Why would I want to be a rape anything?
Yeah.
Why don't I forgive that person? You know, why would I want to be an abused survivor? Like Joey, if Joey was my sponsor and he said, I'm an abuse survivor, I said, why don't you forgive him and just be done with it? Now that's easy for me to say. Yeah, and so this gets real tricky. How do you get done with it? Let's go seek some help, man. Let's go seek some help. I don't know. And by the way, I've got lots of sponsees that have had horrific things done, and they are not living with them, forgiving them. And I sat in a meeting once, and the guy said, that's the dude that did it to me. He goes, I didn't even recognize him. And it's like, he goes, how cool is that? I said, it sounds like you're forgiving him. He goes, wow, free. He was free. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Okay, think about the victim attitude. You know, are you selfish in this resentment? Yeah, why? Why? Gives you the excuse, it's the perfect excuse. Everybody, you know, like, no 12-year-old deserves to have the door open. Now that, I'm responding, I got some fancy stuff in real, and I don't know Joey, but you know what I mean? I'm selfish, it works. This is why the way if what happened to you, what happened to me happened to you, you'd be unemployable. You'd be divorced 6 times. You'd be drunk too, right? Anybody ever hear that? What happened to you, me happened to you. Are you dishonest?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Fabricate.
Yeah, self-seeking,
Yeah.
yeah, and frightened,
Yes.
yeah.
Fear-based.
Yeah, all fear-based, yeah. I don't want to let that son of a bitch off the hook. We're not letting them off the hook. We're letting ourselves off the hook by forgiving. Yeah, you had expectations, right, even at 4, but they grow into more expectations. After a while, you probably knew he was abusive, right, and yet you still wanted him to change or whatever it was. I'm trying to put words in your mouth. I don't want to do that. How about this word? This comes up in our sex inventory, inconsiderate. And this helps when I'm working with a guy. What do you think his childhood was like? What do you think happened to him at 4 and 5 and 6? See, I'm trying to get empathy. We're trying to work empathy into it. Okay? All right, how about, we did Tom, sponsor, how about Mom Sue? Yeah, how about Sue? Oh, we didn't do Tom, did we? Yeah, we're tired of Tom.
We are.
He's had enough time tonight.
I spent too much time with
Your mom. You wanna work on Tom for a while? How about, this was for me, for my mom, as my sponsor pointed out, that I compare my mom. I compared my mom with all the other moms. I mostly compared my mom with June Cleaver. I'm not kidding you, yeah. Yeah, why isn't she like June Cleaver? Yeah, vacuum in high heels and a dress. Would that kill you, Mom? Or when my friends come over?
Like Eddie used to say, it's a nice beaver you got there, Mrs. Cleveland.
Yeah, I know. But then a friend of mine shared the other day that his mom was hot and all his buddies came over to the house. Right? Yeah. You follow? I'll find anything to be resentful at.
Singled out, or
Yes.
picked on?
Huh?
I feel, my part as I felt picked on.
Well, that's on the resentment list.
Okay.
I feel picked on. But this compare expectations with parents. I have an expectation on my mom, my dad, my brothers, where I fit in, how I should be treated. Anybody, I'm from a large family, 8 kids. You ever count the Christmas presents under the tree? There weren't that many? You're so sad over there. This is just so sad. Yeah. I was 35 years old. I was counting my kids' Christmas presents under the tree. I'd like to be doing that. Like, why are my nephews and nieces, they got more than mine? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm counting. Now I'm counting my kids. You know, why doesn't mom, grandma? Isn't that a waste of time? I know. I know. Pretty soon I'm pointing out to the kids. See what your cousin got? Yeah, I know. It's like, what's wrong with you? All the way home. See what your cousin Joe got? Shit. God, what'd you get? Socks.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. You guys laugh because it's probably hitting home, huh? Yeah. I'm going through the whole world taking everybody's inventory with my own. You know, just go ahead. I dare you. I dare you. I am the judge. This one here was such a big. I said that to one guy. We did the inventory like this, and the words were all over the place. And Judge had this perfect line, like 15 in a row. And so the next time he came in a meeting, I rose. he goes, sit down. I go, no, the judge is here. He laughed. He goes, look at this, man. He just circled it. He goes, I am so judgmental. Yeah, man, that was hard to. Anybody hear the judge? Here come the judge. Think about this page. We talked about the other side is you're the prosecutor trying to convince the judge that this person is guilty and you have a right to be angry. Think about this page as now this person is the judge. Think of the judge, prosecutor. Think of Angel, you know, talking to me, telling me what kind of childhood he had. Of course I didn't know. I didn't want to be, you know, I don't know. But you get it? If you start working with guys, or if your sponsor starts to work with you, your mind really starts to open up. And you start to see it, and the fancied stuff starts to leave. Yeah. And then you get the best news. You get the greatest news the book has. All my problems are of my own making. I don't forgive. I think I forgive. I think I'm this beautiful person. I don't judge. Oh man, do I judge. Expectations and inconsiderate word. The word inconsiderate, in my personal experiences when I did this work, I don't consider your feelings ever. I don't consider your circumstances. I don't consider your current position, your past position, anything about you. The only thing I can consider about you is what you can do for me. And if you're not doing it for me, Katie, bar the door. And I'm passive aggressive. Still passive aggressive. I'm still working on it, being passive aggressive, but I'm aware of it and I catch it. And I go, hey, I don't throw up this way. And passive aggressive, maybe it's a Midwestern Minnesota thing. Minnesota nice, they call it, but we call it Minnesota ice. Yeah, it's like, I will shut you out, man. If I phone will ring, I ain't answering it. And it's my wife or my kids. It's like, yeah, you can wait. Think of that. Yeah. The New Yorkers pick it up and tell that. I don't know which is better, but how about just forgive, you know?
Yeah, when I was doing this with Joe and Charlie a lot, they put inconsiderate in that fifth, you know, along
Over
with
here.
number 4.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was such a big.
Such a big word.
Right.
I was shocked at expectations and how every relationship in my business had expectations of how this was gonna work out. Expectations are just my future resentments. Now, every expectation I have turns into resentment. Gosh, we went long today, okay? All right, should we wrap it up?
Though a situation had not been entirely.
Where are we at, Pat? Help me out.
Oh,
Help everybody out here. We're on page 67.
67, second paragraph.
Okay, we put that, okay, put that on mine, okay.
Though
Yeah.
a situation had not been entirely our fault, we tried to disregard the other persons involved entirely. Where we were to blame, the inventory was ours, not the other man's. When we saw our faults, we listed them. We placed them before us in black and white. We admitted our wrongs honestly and were willing to set these matters straight.
Amen. And so here, when you're doing the list, sorry, I should have passed this out earlier. These, if you get stumped when you're doing your who's, we have people, institutions, and principles. So if you could pass those out, we got one there for a couple of those, right? And so these give you some ideas of what some principles are. For instance, just think about, like, on my list, I had the IRS, state of Minnesota. I had the Catholic Church. I had the principle of monogamy. The judge, that's a person, but the institution is the police or the authority, yeah. But think about some principles like honesty, monogamy. Help me out with some other principles. Jesus Christ is a principle on there. Faithfulness, loyalty. If you got, huh? Think about the commandments and think about the 7 deadly sins. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just wondering, for like effects why do they use pride as an example, but they don't list it as one of the effects paragraphs?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think pride is, so pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, and it's the one that leads it all. Like, think about, like the sin of unforgiving or inconsiderate. That's the sin of pride. That's my pride that I'm inconsiderate of you. If you only knew what I knew, you follow how the pride comes up? So maybe that's why it's there.
But you wouldn't know that until after you turn around.
You'll really know it during your fifth step. This is when you sit with another man. By the way, has anybody scheduled their fifth step yet? Anybody having a hard time finding someone? Casey? Yeah, there's a couple extra sheets floating around. Here, I got some. Did everybody get a sandwich? Yeah, go ahead.
Another one.
Sheets?
One of those sheets, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just had this sheet when I was doing the, yeah, how about that? The principle of death, life after death. Golden rule.
What's that principle called?
Okay, listen, this principles.
Honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, love, discipline, perseverance, spiritual awareness, and service.
You remember when we wrote those down? You guys remember where we wrote our principles down? Next to the steps. On page 59, remember when we read the steps? Next to each step we wrote the principles. That's what Paul was just reading. The 12 principles, but there's other principles too.
Big boys don't cry.
Big boys don't cry. How about that one? Anybody's dad ever say, if you don't stop crying, I'll pull this car over and give you something to cry about? Yeah. No crying. No crying. So then when I do my inventory on my dad, I see how his mom treated him. And then it's really easy to forget my dad. You know, yeah.
My dad grew up in an orphanage.
Orphanage. How about that? Yeah.
So I'm blessed by their company.
Yeah.
No crying in baseball.
There's no crying. Well, there is no crying in baseball. Unless you're a Twins fan.
Madonna was a
Yeah. If you're a Twins fan, there's lots of crying. And if you're a Vikings fan, there's even more crying. All right. Andy, you okay over there? Atta boy. It's not Mind Readers Anonymous, you know. Atta boy. Glad you're here, Andy. Anything else? Can we close with the 3rd step prayer? All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming tonight. Do your inventory. Next week, we're going to work on fear. Are you afraid of anything? You're not afraid of anything.
Hey, Paul, real quick, so Bible's under institution?
Bible can be under principle, I put it under, yeah.
And an announcement to make. Our leader here, this is the last Wednesday of the month, and our fearless leader here has 10 years of sobriety this month. That's all.
Thank you. And I have another announcement. This Sunday, we are hosting Renew Night at Naples Retreat. We are going to have a fantastic dinner. We're going to gather around 4:30. We eat at 5. And then at 6 o'clock, we have a call-up meeting. Are we going to have a bonfire this week? No. We don't like fires? We're still not sure about the fires. And that is Patty C. is going to be our speaker. She's fantastic. So there's a flyer up here. Come take a picture of it or take one with you. God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me, to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of knowledge of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, have victory over them, through whatever wishes thy power, thy love, and the way of life. May I do thy will always. Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming. Yeah.